Hello and welcome to the Kirklees College Masterclass. My name is Gary Schofield and today we are going to be filleting a flat fish. This is a place, okay? Quality points we look for in a place is we have good colours, we have orange spots on the top. Underneath is a clean white underside. The fins are all intact, there's no holes in them. The gills are pink and bright, the eyes aren't sunk, and there are no foul odours or anything coming from the fish. This one is very good. First of all, we start off, we get our filleting knife. We also are going to have a office knife in case we do any small work. We have our steel to keep the edge on our knife and also a pair of scissors. We also have a tray to put any waste on, but most of the waste will go to be stock. There is, if you can see, there's a line down the back of the place. We're going to be making an incision down that, and we're going to be removing 4 fillets from this fish. First off, we're going to remove these fins. So we take our scissors, and starting at the bottom, we trim these. They're also known as the wings as well. Okay. We don't usually scale these. They sometimes have very small scales on them. They don't really get in the way. We've also got fins here that we remove. Here. And here. So there is our fish ready to start filleting. Next stage, we take our filleting knife again with the flexible blade so that we can work around bones. We find the edge of the head, run our finger around it, and we make an incision around there. Okay. Once we get to the line, we take our knife and we make an incision all the way down the line. To remove our first fillet, we run our finger into the incision and you'll be able to feel where there's a slight indentation where the backbone is. We're going to go either side of that backbone. Again, small incisions. We don't need to make big long cuts. Once we've found where the side is, we take our knife and we move the knife down the side or down the bones itself. As you can see, there's plenty of bend in the knife, and this allows me to remove all the fish, all the flesh from the bones and not leave any on there, because we want the customer to have all of the flesh and the stock to have all of the bones. Okay, so as you can see, the flesh is nice and shiny and pearlescent or opalescent, and we've got the skin on the back there, obviously. So there's our first fillet. I'm going to take the next 3 fillets off. This next one is quite straightforward. Once I turn the fish over, we lose the stability, so the other 2 are slightly more difficult to do, but they're still quite straightforward. Little incision there. This is where the fish's roe is housed. Sometimes when the fish are in season, all this part is full of fish roe. That's why we don't tend to fish them when they're spawning, and we don't tend to eat them when they're spawning. Okay, as you can see, there's the roe there. I'm going to remove that later. A test that we do to make sure that we've got all the flesh off the bones is we scrape with our knife and you can see there's no big chunks of fish on there, which is good. It means it's all there ready for the customer. So I'll turn the fish over and we'll do exactly the same down the back side. Again, I'm going to cut around the head, feel where the edge of the head bone is, or the skull. Get to the line. As you can see, there's a line down the back here. We're going to cut straight down that line. I'm going to run my finger down just to feel where the indentation is. And again, start from the tail and work up. If you take a little bit of bone with you when you're filleting, don't worry, you can always remove it when we trim up the fillets. The secret to doing this is having a very sharp knife. You can't do these with a blunt knife. Okay, there's our third fillet, and then cut across as before. As you can see there, you can see the indentation. And we're going to follow up the rest of the fillet. Try not to cut towards yourself, try and cut away. Okay. There we go. There is our carcass. We'd keep that for stock. We'd remove the eyes, we'd remove the gills, we'd remove the blood sac here. Okay. We'd fold this up and then make stock out of that. We're going to clean down. So, a good food safe sanitizer and a cloth. And we clean our board to stop our knives, to stop any cross contamination. Very important to work safe. Always clean your knives away from yourself. Once we finish this demonstration, we will of course wash these in hot soapy water, but as we're going to be using them again with this fish, these little fry. Okay, so next we're going to trim our fillets down, we're going to skin them and present them ready to go. So take our first fillet. As you can see, we've still got a little bit of the wing on the side here. We're going to remove that. Now you can do that with scissors or a sharp knife. I'll do one with scissors and one with a knife, and we'll see how far we get. So we just follow the line, not cutting into the flesh. And trim around. Okay, again we keep this for stock, very important. We take our filleting knife, any bone that we've managed to take off as well, we just get the knife and just go underneath that and remove the bones. You'll be able to feel them with your fingers. If there's something sharp and jaggy there, it's a bone and you don't want it there. Okay. There's one fillet. The next one has the roe attached to it. So we just want this piece of fish. We don't want this. This is waste. So we take our knife. You can use scissors, but we'll show you with the knife for this one. And with the point, just cut around where the line is. And again, all keeps the stock. I'll quickly do the next two. Plaice is a very delicate fish, doesn't need cooking a lot, and is exceptionally tasty. I can't feel any bones on this one, so that seems to be okay. There we go. Right, as you can see on this one, we've got a little bit of silver skin, and there is a little bit of bone in there. So what we're going to do, there's not a lot of fish here, and that's mainly bone, so I'm going to trim that to there, like so. Okay. So there we have our 4 fillets. Finally, what we're going to do is we are going to skin the place. Okay, so we take one of the fillets, starting from the tail end, take your filleting knife and a little incision again through the flesh just down to the skin, so that we've got no flesh on the skin and you haven't gone through the skin. That's very important. Using this part of the knife, what we're going to do is cut down the skin, and then when we've got enough skin to hold, we're going to wiggle the skin, not moving the knife, just wiggling the skin and pull the flesh from the skin. And as you can see, it takes all the flesh. Now as we're presenting these as a presentation side, which is this side, we don't use the side that's been skinned because it doesn't generally look as nice. There's one that's skinned and one that's not for presentation. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope your exams go very well.